Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock and it's time for another video. And today I'm going to do a video that Tom actually suggested. That's why I've actually got Tom here. And he watches all of Magic TV religiously. He's watched every single video. He listens to it in his van.
I don't have time to watch telly.
But he listens to all of Magic TV, and he suggested to me a video that I'd never even considered making. And I don't even know if it's a good idea to make it now. He's convinced me to sit in front of this camera and make it, but I don't know if it's the best idea or not. Basically, he suggested that I make a video specifically about holiday parks. Now, I'm very aware that the people who watch Magic TV are not just people that live in the UK. And when I've talked about holiday parks in the past, a lot of people that live in other countries go, hang on, Craig, what the hell is a holiday park? So before you explain why this video needs to be made and what we're going to be actually talking about, a holiday park, if you don't live in the UK, is basically a place that you can go on holiday kind of without actually leaving the country. So it's basically a big custom built place, and there's normally chalets or caravans or log cabins, depending on the level of quality of the holiday park that you go to. There's normally like some sort of chalet or something that people live in, and it's normally self-catering, so there's normally a kitchen in there and a little like, you know, washing machine and so on and so forth, and everything that you could possibly need if you're on holiday is in that one place. So there's normally a big entertainment center where they have entertainment on most nights. There's normally like an entertainment team that are responsible for like the general entertainment of the people that are there. It's normally very family centric. The Pontins had blue coats, Haven had yellow coats. I was a red coat at Butlins. Red coats are in Butlins. A lot of people consider Butlins to be the best, but there's lots of other holiday parks as well. Park Dean, Park Resorts, they're very, very popular. You've got small holiday parks as well, but they generally kind of have a few shops on there, several restaurants on there. They'll normally have a couple of bars on there. They'll normally have activities throughout the day for kids to do. They'll normally have activities for adults to do as well. Depending on the scale of the actual holiday park that you go to, you can have a bunch of stuff like Butlins, who are considered the best. They have the big acts on. They have like the celebrity act. Stephen Mulhern's just spent the last 3 years touring Butlins. But smaller ones will have visiting cabaret acts most nights as well. And the nights that the visiting cabaret acts aren't there, you normally have the entertainment team that are kind of running entertainment, and they're normally singers and dancers and comedians and things like that. These holiday parks tend to be in quite touristy destinations, so you could leave the holiday park and go somewhere if you wanted to. There's normally quite touristy, but technically you could be there for the entire time, not leave that holiday park once, and you could effectively stay there the entire time. And Centre Parks is another example of a very popular one. And I think one of the reasons they're popular is it's cheaper than actually going abroad and catching a flight. And you can make it self-catering, or you can make it full board or half board. And it's a place that a lot of parents like to go because there's always something for the kids to do. So you can dump the kids in various different clubs and have some time on your own away from the kids. There's normally entertainment for the kids at night. There's entertainment for the adults at night. Does that kind of cover what a holiday park is?
So. I was just going to say, think Disneyland but shit.
Think Disneyland but shit. Yeah, that would kind of sum it up. But yeah, I mean, and my background is holiday parks. I was a red coat at Butlins, and then when I actually started doing my illusion show, I toured for 3 or 4 years around holiday parks. I did all of the Havens, I did all of the Pontins, I did all of the Park Resorts, all of the Park Deans. Every week I'd be in a different run. I'd be somewhere in the UK. I'd be literally going from John O'Groats to Land's End, doing every single holiday park there is. And although the last few years I haven't done many holiday parks, of course I've been, I kind of wound it down a little bit when I had kids, because you tend to be on the road a lot in the week, especially in the summer and especially in half term. You tend to be on the road in the week, and I wasn't seeing Ryland and then later Thea, so I wound it down. Although I have started doing more holiday parks recently. Ryland started doing holiday parks, so Ryland and Thea, I'm there with their show, you're there with their show, but I've actually started doing more holiday parks myself that's my story with holiday parks. I love them. I absolutely love them. I really enjoy performing at them. You haven't had as much experience with holiday parks. You did a smaller one in Wales for a season, didn't you?
Yeah, to get flight time on my cabaret act. So I did a small one. We did a 12 run. 12.
Yeah, you did like 12,
yeah.
12 dates over 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So you were there every single week doing
That's because you wanted me to get my show up.
Well, I was like, the best place to actually get your show up to a certain standard is doing holiday parks. But then since then, you've gone on a couple of holiday parks with me. You've taken the kids' shows on a couple of holiday parks. And you said I should do a video on holiday parks.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain why?
Because when we
over there.
When we got to the holiday park,
It's YouTube, baby.
yeah, we seen the tech staff, the tech guy, and he went, "Don't worry if you die on your ass. Don't worry. Nobody survives it." Sort of attitude, and it was just like,
it was, and it was
like,
Butlins that we've just been
yeah,
to, wasn't
which is like, yeah, I'm like, well, you know, you have decent acts here. He's like, "Don't worry, they'll all be at the back. You'll have a few at the front. Just focus on the people at the front.
They're feral.
You're gonna die.
Okay.
Yeah, they're feral. You're gonna die on your ass, but don't worry." And we were like, "Nah, it's fine." And he was like, "You've not got much space here. You've not got much space there." But because we're so used to doing corporate events, we were like, more space in the Tower Ballroom, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? And we just got on with it, and we were just really proactive about it. We made the tech guys' life easier by you having your tech stuff. And I think we became friends. Like, the best thing to do is win over the tech guy, and I think it's very, you know, it's nice to have a tech guy. So then we got on with it. He was really helpful, and then the bar staff came in and like, "You're gonna die on your ass. Don't worry. Everyone dies on their ass. Don't worry."
You mean the bar staff? You mean the red coats?
Sorry, redcoats. They came in. "Don't worry if you die on your ass. Don't worry. We've got your back," sort of thing. And we're like, "Okay, yeah." And then we just put a game plan together and smashed it. Mm-hmm. I'll let you take it over because you're better to explain.
So what's the purpose of this? Like, for us to talk about how amazing I am at holiday parks?
How awesome you are at holiday parks and how.
So I'm just bragging for 20 minutes. I can do that.
Yeah. No, but basically we went in. I was like, "We're going to die on our ass." You're like, "No, we're fine. Go down on our ass." And you went, "Let's hit them big. Let's hit them fast. Bang, do it." And we hit them fast. Everybody was silent. Everybody was sat watching. And then we went, big illusion, big illusion, big illusion. Didn't give them time to breathe. The only time you heard the audience, everybody was glued onto us. It was a difficult situation. We smashed it. And then we had the feedback off the redcoats saying, "We've never seen anything like that before. Normally when we book an act, it's just this, this and this." And I think what the formula was the fact that we just hit big. We entertained the kids, the families, the adults, everybody in between. We had a quick moment, get a kid up on stage, turn them into the hero, send them back. And also we had a game plan before where we went round and did close-up and just got everybody on side during close-up. You was like, "Okay, hit them hard, hit them quick, we're close-up, bang, bang, bang. Let them know we mean business, don't do anything, don't stay too long with them, bang, 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 bang." Got everybody knowing our show is going to be the show to watch. And then even during the show, you were changing it on the fly because you were like, "This isn't going to work." And using your psychic ability told me we're not doing that. And then we went a different direction. Like it was like kind of, okay, because we had we had a patter piece and we were like, "No, we can't do the patter piece." Go bang, and we just stormed it.
So really, this video is about telling people how to actually work a holiday park and make it work. Because in the UK, at any rate, holiday parks are a place where you can actually get a lot of work. When you first put a stage act together, it's relatively easy to get a holiday park run, but it's quite difficult to keep it because you've got to be good. And here's the thing: that this isn't a video so much about holiday parks. This is a video more about working difficult audiences because. And regardless of where you are and where you're performing over the world, you know, you're going to have difficult environments and difficult audiences. And holiday parks are notoriously difficult. And the reason's very, very simple. It's normally, you see, the thing is, when you go to a holiday park, you've paid a price to be there for the whole week. And there's so many different options of things that people can do. When they come in and there's a magic show there, for example, it's very much a case of, right, okay, impress me now. Yeah. Impress me, Magic Boy. They haven't bought a ticket to come and see you. It's not like they've bought a ticket to come and watch your show. They haven't. They've bought a ticket. They've bought an experience at Butlins or Park Resorts or Park Dean or wherever it is. And as part of that experience, there's entertainment. And it's very much a case of, right, okay, impress me then.
Yeah.
Which means that you've got to grab their attention very much immediately. The other thing is how you pitch it. And it's always the same when you do a family show. Pitching the content is so important. If you make it too kiddie and you focus on the kids, the adults are going to lose attention. If the adults lose attention, they're going to be talking at the back. It's going to be very, very difficult to hold an audience, and they might even leave. If they leave, they take the kids with them. But if you make it more for the adults, the kids are going to lose interest, and if the kids lose interest, they're running around, which is what happens to a lot of acts. I've got a friend that does holiday parks, and he stopped doing them after a very short period of time for that very reason. He's not a kids entertainer. He was focusing on entertaining the adults, and the kids were just running around feral, and he couldn't cope with that. And the thing is, a lot of people don't realize this, every single holiday park show that you go to, you are appraised as part of the thing. What the Ents team have to do is fill in a form, and the form that they fill in is, how good were you, how did the people stay, did the people watch the show? Because ultimately, if everybody leaves, you're a failure, because they're making money from people being in the room and buying drinks. They're making money from people sticking around afterwards to watch the band or watch the whatever it is on that's next. And so your goal is to keep people in that room as long as you can, and normally you're there for 45 minutes. So you want this video to be advice on how to make a holiday park work, right?
It was just like, because I had so many things that I'd have gone in a total different direction. I said, well, you definitely need to warm up this audience before we start. You went, no, we do not warm up the audience. We hit them hard, and we hit them hard by just bang, big illusion, produce fear, bang, everyone's cheering, what, and everyone's attention, and then bang, straight into a danger trick, then bang, straight into something else, and bang, straight into somewhere else. Get the right kid up to just come and just look like an awesome kid, but then at the same time have really strong, powerful magic, which when, we're not doing it, even though it was a kid's trick, it was just like, where the hell did that bear come from? So, it's showing off piece, and then just going to the point where we had the audience that captivated, we could have gone on the next 15 minutes, and we had to like slow down. I mean, we had to just go, okay, we need to wrap it up, because we don't want to annoy the Redcoats. And what my thing was, the Redcoats didn't have to do anything for 45 minutes, and I think that makes their life easier. Then they go, get them in again. We had 45-minute break just sitting and watching the act. Do you know what I mean? And there were just so many things that was against us, but we ended up just flipping it round, all because we knew our audience, and you just knew what to do.
Okay. So first things first. There aren't that many holiday park audiences that generally, as a rule, when you book to do a holiday park, you're not going to be doing close-up magic. We were doing close-up magic at that event because it was an owners event. And because it was an owners event, they wanted us to do close-up magic beforehand.
So they'd seen it all before as well.
Yeah, but the close-up magic, if you're going to do close-up magic at an event like this, hit them hard, hit them quick. One quick trick, move on. One quick trick, move on. We had 35 minutes to do close-up magic, and I said to Tom, we want to try and get the first 2 rows completely done, so they get a chance to see what we do, because if we can impress even one group, then they're going to pay attention. Because here's the thing, holiday park audiences have seen it all, especially owners events. The owners events are for people that own caravans or own chalets or own lodge cabins at a particular holiday park. They will have seen it all because they're there every weekend. They're there all through the summer. They've seen all the entertainment over and over again. That nothing is new to them.
It's not even a treat for the kids.
Exactly. So you have to, and because the kids are there all the time, because they own a chalet there or whatever, they feel that they can overstep boundaries. Like you have a kid, if you go on holiday to a holiday park and you're there for 4 or 5 days, and that kid walks into that holiday park, they're going to be a bit like, oh, I don't want to break this, I don't want to break that. When you're there all of the time, they feel that they can push boundaries, and they feel that they're normally quite familiar with the redcoats or whatever the case may be. So you have to bear that in mind, right? You have to bear in mind that it's a very different environment to anything that you might have performed in before. And if you do have an opportunity to use close-up magic and do close-up magic, do so to grab them attention and let them know that what they're going to be seeing is something different. Now, then is not your time to do your 5-phase ambitious card routine. I was going in with stuff that I knew they wouldn't have seen before. I was doing some quite quick visual hardcore coin magic because I know that it's going to grab their attention and they're not going to have seen it before, and it establishes credibility and makes them go, oh wow, that's cool. Second of all, the second point that I would say is try to get there as early as possible, because for a couple of different reasons. One, you want to make sure that you're making a good impression. You've only got one chance to make a first impression. At the event that we were talking about here, there was meant to be a band on as well, and the band was meant to turn up at 5 o'clock. The band didn't turn up until 6, which was stressing out the tech team. It was stressing out the redcoats. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to put you've only got one chance to make a first impression, and you can't go back on that. And however good your act is, and however good you are, and however professional you are, if you're turning up late, that's not a good situation. And the band didn't even tell the tech team that they were running late because they didn't even know when they were going to be there, which caused problems for them as well. So make sure you're there really, really early, because you never know what you're going to walk into. In the gig that Tom is talking about here, we walked in and they were like, okay, we didn't even know there was going to be an illusion act here. We've got a massive stage, but there's going to be a band set up on the stage.
We're going to have to wait for the band to come.
We're going to have to wait for the band to set up. And I was like, what time are they arriving? And they were like 5, and people were coming into the room at 6:30. I'm like, no, I'm not waiting until 5. We're going to have to come up with another solution. We can fix this. What do you need from us? And that was the most important question. I need the team to know that I will make whatever they want to have happen. You need to come across super professional, like it's totally not an issue. You've dealt with this a million times before. Now that might not be the case. It's a little bit like that old analogy of a duck. You know, you see a duck and a swan is gracefully gliding across the surface, and underneath them paddling like a motherfucker. It's the same sort of thing in this situation. You don't want people to, even if you're in a stressful situation, you don't want them to know that you're in a stressful situation. So you want to make sure that that you're chill about everything, right? So getting there early allows you to come up with a plan of action. In this scenario, the guy said to me, we had an illusion act here before, and we worked out a way of making it work on the stage, but we had to wait for the band to get there. That suggests to me that the illusion act they had in before hadn't really got an idea of what to do, and they were kind of insisting, I'm going to be on the stage. You don't want to come across as a prima donna. You want to make their life as easy as possible, especially if you value the longevity of the contract that you have in front of you. So you need to make their life as easy as possible. So in this situation, I turned around to them and I said, look, we don't have to go on the stage. Why don't you have the stage for the band? We'll go on the dance floor, and then we can have, if there's any space left on the stage, we can do some stuff on the stage, but we can do the majority of it on the dance floor. And the guy was like, is that possible? You've got big illusions. I was like, yeah, most of the stuff that we've got here is completely angle free. There's no angles in anything. The stuff that is slightly angled we could do on the stage, excuse me, in front of the band. But we can set everything else up, and we can push it off to one side. We can take it away from the dance floor before you're ready for us to begin. When you want us to begin, give us 5 minutes to get everything in place, and we can bring it in place, and then we can have it set up. And he'd never been told that before, because he turned around and he was like, is that even possible? Now, that comes from experience of working corporates and weddings, because when most of the illusion shows I do these days are corporates and weddings and the occasional theatre. When you work in corporates, you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get. Like, you could be walking into somewhere with absolutely no space whatsoever. Despite sending people a technical rider for every single event that we do, a lot of the time that technical rider is not then handed to the venue. So when you work corporate events, you have to kind of go, right, okay, we've got this much space. How are we going to make this work?
Even to the point where he was, because we were being so easy, he was then starting to go out of his way to help us. Like, he made us a makeshift wing. He went, no, I'll make you a wing. It's like he felt like his job was easy. He had time to do things, and then it like paid off at the end of the gig, where he was making life so much easier for us, because it felt like he just wanted us to come back. Do you know what I mean? Because we were
Yeah,
it made his life easier.
Exactly. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to be a burden. You want to make people's life as easy as you possibly can. And that's why you arrive there early and you want to get everything set up. It also means that you've got time to do technical rehearsals. We needed to do some rehearsals of a couple of the props just to make sure that the angle sights and lines were okay. It gave us time to do those rehearsals. It gives you time. I hate getting to a venue where I'm pushed for time, and I don't like that at all, especially when you're dealing with an illusion show and you've got to take into consideration build time, you've got to work out angles, you've got to work out all of this stuff. So that's the first thing that I would say, get there early. The next thing that I would say is if you're working a holiday park, you need to have the ability to perform for children. Because the thing is, there are going to be lots of kids at a holiday park. And if you completely ignore the kids, they're going to lose interest. The second they've lost interest, they're going to make, right. So here's what's going to happen at your average holiday park. They're going to sit the kids at some place. We had them sitting around the edge of the dance floor because we were using the dance floor as a stage. The Ents team, the Redcoats and Butlin situation, are going to be in the audience with the kids. Their job is to control the kids. If you can make a show work for the adults but also work for the kids, so the kids are sitting there transfixed, then the Ents team don't have anything to do. If you are running around like crazy and if your show is not appealing to the kids and the kids are getting up and walking off and walking into the performance area, one, that doesn't look good for your show. Second of all, it doesn't look good for the adults. But third of all, it then makes the Ents team's job a lot harder, right? So you need to make sure you can perform for children. Now, that does not mean be kiddie. That means being able to engage the children as well as the adults. So when I was putting this show together with Tom in the van on the way, and I said, we're going to do this routine, you were like, you're going to bring a kid up? And I was like, yep, we're going to bring a kid up. And he's like, but it's not. And I was like, yeah, it's a holiday park. We're going to get a kid involved. But it's not going to be a kiddie trick. No. We're not going to do it in a kiddie way. We're not going to start pulling out a colouring book and hitting ourselves in the head with a magic wand. We're not suddenly turning into Mr. Tumble, but we're going to get a kid involved. That does two things. One, you get a kid involved. All the other kids are like, wow, I want to get involved as well. I'm going to have to pay attention because I want to kind of get involved in this show as well. This show is really cool. But second of all, it's just a really nice moment. There's a family audience. You want to get the kids involved as well. And there's a fine line between making it too kiddie and making it so that the kids are involved in the show. And you know that's where you have to make sure that line.
And I think just the material as well. It's like what do kids want to see when they think of magic? Making things disappear, making things cutting people up, making things levitate, all that sort of stuff. So it's not your time for your master prediction system. It's not the time for these patter pieces. They just want to see actual magic that can glue their eyes on.
Well, I've got a friend that does the master prediction system and does it really well, and they did a holiday park recently and they came back and they were like, the kids were feral. I hated it. I hated every second of it. And I think it's because the person I've got in my head is not a kids entertainer at all in any way, shape or form. So because they're not a kids entertainer, the natural thing to do is to basically almost avoid the kids, ignore the kids, and do routines that don't engage the kids. Master prediction system is a perfect example. It's a wonderful routine, but you're never going to do that to kids and have them pay attention or have any interest at all in what it is that you're putting across to them.
And the call of having fear as well, because then they're seeing a magician on the kids level going like inspirational. So they're seeing a kid magician on stage as well as I called it slightly mischievous because it was like a mix of slightly unusual and magic and mischief.
Well, having Thea there is a real big plus because Thea connects to the kids in a way that no other assistant can in the show, and she doesn't come across as an assistant because she's doing the bottles and she's doing all that sort of stuff. So and she's got her own character of not wanting to be there and so on and so forth. So I mean, that's not take your kid with you to a whole
don't really like that.
It's not advice that you could really follow. I'm very lucky that I've got two great.
Take Lucy.
I've got two very talented kids that I can bring along to gigs with me that will connect to an audience. But you can connect to the audience without actually having a kid with you by making it work for kids whilst at the same time engaging the audience. Which brings you into the next point, which is we talked about making life easy for the tech team, make life easy for the redcoats as well. Be on time. You want to make sure that you're on time. If you remember, in the middle of the show, I was communicating with you, and one thing I said is we're pulling this trick, and the reason is I was aware of the time, and I knew we had 10 minutes left, and I knew we had 3 routines left, and one of them took about 10 minutes, the other 2 took 5 minutes each, and I'm like, if we do that one, we are going to overrun. I know from being a redcoat and speaking to ents managers that the worst thing in the world for them is when you overrun, because they've got timings that they need to hit. There's a million things that they have going on. If you overrun, everything gets pushed back, and you don't want that. So you want to make sure that you are absolutely on time, and you are making yourself very, very useful to those ents team, because they're the ones that are going to write the report on you afterwards.
And there was also a bit with the events team is you actually asked them what they're doing tonight, and one of them had a bit of a crossover with us because we used the same song. So even though they weren't bothered, they said, "Oh no, it's fine." Even though we pulled it anyway, but it was just the fact that if they've got a plan in their head what they're doing when we come off stage, and then you know what I mean? It's like we're going to use a track, and then that ruins something that they were going to do, and then I think just having that connection of actually caring about what they've got to do, and don't just care about your own act as well. That really helps with them.
Next point I'd say with regards to a show is you want to grab their attention immediately when you start the show. So you were wanting to do a warm up and spend 5 minutes go, hey, and look, I'm an advocate for warm ups. I think doing a warm up is a great idea in the majority of situations. Absolutely not at a holiday park. Have yourself a track. We have a track that we can play that says introduces us, introduces Slightly Unusual and talks about some of the things that Slightly Unusual have achieved, and then you come running on stage to music and you do something cool that grabs people's attention. That is so important, because you've only got one chance to create a first impression, like I said before, and if you go out and you spend 5 minutes talking, if the kids are switched off by that, because the problem is if you do a warm-up and you make it too kiddie, the adults are going to switch off. If you make it too talky, the kids are going to switch off. The way to grab everyone's attention is to have some really cool music playing and doing something visual. Now, it's easy to do with an illusion show. I think we opened with Crystal Casket and then we went straight into Spike Wrap, and we did those 2 illusions before we even started talking. However, you don't have to do that. There's a million different routines that you can do to music. There's a million different ways that you can actually use music in your act. I will tell you that it's the thing that most magicians don't think of, but musicality is so important. And you know, that's one thing that I think Ryland just gets so perfect is musicality, and having the right music that creates the right tone. You know, you want to make it, especially in a holiday park, especially with that first piece, you want to have it upbeat, you want to grab people's attention, you want to get them going, oh my God, that's amazing. And with a holiday park, especially an owner's party, it's even more important to do something that they won't have seen before, which is why I said to you, and you were really surprised about this, I was like, don't do the fire cage. We're not doing the fire cage. Now, I know that's your favourite way to open a show when you're doing an illusion show. And I was like, no, we're not doing a fire cage, because they're owners that will have seen a million different illusionists. I guarantee you they're going to have seen a fire cage. We need to do something a little bit different. We need to do something a little bit more unique. So try to make the choice of your material different. Don't be doing your vanishing bandanas. Don't be doing your stuff that's, you know, everybody else.
Well, they
is
said
doing.
that with the bottle routine. They said we'd never seen bottles being used that way.
Yeah, so me and Thea did the multiplying bottle routine that you would normally see Ryland and Thea do, but I do it, you do it, and so when we've got Thea with us, one of us will do the bottle routine with Thea. And it gets the same impact as when Ryland's doing it. And it's an amazing routine. You know, it's Restarting Bottle by Morgan and West. It's absolutely brilliant. But what's nice about it is I don't think I've ever seen anyone else do it other than Morgan and West.
No.
And Ryland and Thea and me and Thea and you and Thea. It's not a routine that's very common.
No.
Which
makes it great.
Yeah, and that's what they said. They said...
you could do that with that.
I know you had a separate conversation with the Ents team to me, but I was speaking to a few of the Redcoats and they were like, that bottle routine, we've never seen anything like that before. That was brilliant. And they said, we did the teddy bear chair where the teddy bear appears with a big...
Never seen that before.
And they were like, I've never seen anything like that before. That was amazing. Like, we see so many magic acts.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before. And it's important to put moments like that in your act so that people... So they're the ones that are appraising you. You want to make sure that they're seeing something different. If you're coming in and you're doing, okay, well, the first trick was from that act 2 weeks ago. The second trick was from that act 4 weeks ago. It's not good. It's not good reflective on you either. So you need to make sure, this is where your creativity comes in. And I'm not talking about creativity in terms of creating a magic trick to sell. I'm talking about creativity from the point of view of creating something unique and creating something different and creating something that people will not have seen before. Taking a prop or taking a trick and going, right, okay, how can I turn this on this head? And how can I make this so that when somebody sees it, it's different? Because if the Ents team who see everything say, I haven't seen anything like that before, then the audience aren't going to have seen it before, right? And I'll say one more thing on that before you talk. The important thing is when people are out, so I was speaking to somebody the other week who was like, hey, I want to put an illusion show together. What do you think of my set? And I was looking at the set, and it was just the standard stuff. Like, it was the bog standard stuff. And he didn't have any of this stuff. He was going to go out and buy it. And I was like, well, there's nothing new there. There's nothing original. And I was like, how are you going to present this? And he was like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm like, well, that's the exact way that every other person presents it. What are you going to do with that? Well, that's the exact way every person presents it. When you're putting an act together and you're choosing material, one, try to find stuff that not many other people will be doing. When I went to Blackpool and I saw that chair that fires and something up, I was like, I need that. I need that for a couple of different reasons. One, the cost is going to mean that very few people are going to do it. It's going to be very, very unique. And two, I can literally make anything appear from it. So I can build an entire presentation around that that is unique to me. So you need to look for tricks and look for props that are original. Don't just buy this prop because that's the one that everyone's using. You can get away with that in close-up. You can't get away with that in a holiday park where they're seeing the same acts every single week. And then make it different. Without giving too much away, I have a version of the vanishing bandana. Well, it's not even vanishing bandana, but I've taken that vanishing bandana and I've built it into something else, which is truly unique and different. Which
amazing.
Which people are going to see at some point. And I'm not going to give anything away about that. But the point is,
I don't want you to teach it anyone. No, honestly, no, it's great.
But the point with that is a trick that everyone does in a very particular way.
Because it is an entertaining trick, but everybody does it.
Everybody does it. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be teaching it on the Penguin Holiday Special. And I'm going to be giving it away. And when I give it away, I'm fairly sure this is the way that people are going to be doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it takes that prop that everyone uses and it literally turns it on its head. And that's what you need to do. You need to take, if you haven't got the budget to buy a £1,500 Wonder Maker's chair to produce a teddy bear in a flash of light, that's fine. You can do the same thing with smaller props. But how are you going to make those props unique to you? What are you going to do to create some, like the multiplying bottles, for example? Restarting bottle is an amazing trick. That's probably one of the best tricks in the show from Butlins. But it's not like a prop it's what Morgan and West did with it that made it unique and different, that we can then use Thea to make it even more different for us, and so on and so forth. Sorry,
No, it's like what you said. It's if you was to look at everything we had on a piece of paper, it looks like everybody else's act, because you've got the casket, you've got multiplying bottles, you've got, if you just write the props down, it'd be like, well, what's different there? But on stage, it is just totally different. It's don't get the prop and do what everybody else is doing. Take it, make it your own. Like even with the chair, we've made it our own. We don't, we mix it with Alex Tricked Magic's prop with the notepad, and get a kid up on stage and make a massive piece out of it. Because then you're also getting the astonishment of the kids, which is entertaining the kids, because then all the kids want to come, but then also you've got the adults, because it's like, where the hell did that come from? Do you know what I mean? It was just so many layers to it, where you're not just getting the prop out and doing it out the box. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, you had a plan with it, you made that plan, and just make it your own. So it's the same with nobody does casket like yours. Do you know what I mean? Nobody does a split press like yours. Nobody does anything like that. It's all. But if you was to have it on a set list, it'd be like, well, we've seen this before, but yet they haven't.
Yeah, make it your own. Make it your own. That's the single most important thing.
But also, like the red coats were saying to me, that it's like normally when they get an illusion act in, it's normally illusion, boring, illusion, boring, end of illusion. And they just like the fact that it was rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling it, and there was no patter.
But the thing is, there were patter pieces, but it doesn't feel like there were patter pieces because of how it was played. You know, think about the music that's playing at the back of a patter piece. Think about how to make that patter piece bigger. And if you're going to, and this kind of is contrary to what I said before, but don't be afraid to be kiddie at a holiday park. As in, you don't want to lose that adult audience, but don't be afraid to put a piece in there that's going to be focused on the kids. You know, the multiplying bottles, the way I did it, there were elements of look, no, see. And I was doing it in a way that wasn't kiddie, but it was still drawing the kids in. And that's really important. I would say the best advice I can give anybody who does holiday parks is spend 6 months doing kid shows. Because once you understand the psychology of performing for children, you are going to be much better as a performer in a holiday park.
And we had, I think 3 tricks that we were ready to go just in case the direction changed. And the direction these days we ended up.
Well, actually, that's another thing, which is always have an out. You know, always have other options. I've got a trick called Destination Mistake. And I said to you, we had the Spontus set up on the stage because we were going to do the Spontus, and I gave you the destination box, and I was like, go and take that and put it on Spontus. And you were like, why? We're not doing Destination Mistake. And I went, I know, but that's a 9-minute routine that we can do inside, outside, back to front, up ways, sideways. And if something goes wrong, we can literally pick up that box and we can go straight into it. It doesn't look out of place. It's not like if it's on the stage, we, you know, like, Frady Frame is a perfect example. We had Frady Frame in the van, but we didn't use it, and I wouldn't have set it up on the stage because it would draw questions as to, well, what was that and why was it not used? But a little box on the Spontus that just gets moved out of the way, it's there. It's totally not an issue. It's there, and we can use it if we need it. So if something goes wrong, and I've had everything go wrong during the course of my career. I've pushed girls off boxes off stages in props and broken their sternum. I've had props break. I've had a million different things happen that have caused issues in a show. And the best way to deal with that is to always have something on standby just in case. You never know, you might burn through material. You might have got to the end of your set and you're still 7 minutes away. You don't want to end early. In the situation that we were in, I pulled one of the tricks because I knew it wouldn't work in the context of the show. I knew 30 minutes into that show, I understood that audience enough to know that would have killed the audience dead. And I was able to communicate to you and say, we're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. We're going to be moving on. We're going to be doing something else instead. Having that ability to think on the fly is really important. And also, you know, this is going to be the controversial piece of advice that I know a lot of people are going to disagree with, because, you know, everybody talks about scripting and how important it is to be scripted, and you've got to script everything and you've got to stick to a script. Look, if you've got talking points, that's absolutely fine. If you've got a set script that you want to follow, that's fine. But the most important piece of information I can give you is have the ability to improv and have the ability to ad-lib, because at a holiday park you are going to get heckled sometimes. At a holiday park something's going to happen, and it's great to be able to ad-lib with your audience. It's great to be able to you know, like, interact with your audience, and if that means that you go off script for a minute, then you go off script for a minute. That's not a problem. You have to have that ability. Like, we were doing Paradox and we'd rehearsed it with you doing the intro, but as we went into Paradox, because I was talking at that point, in my head I was talking to a member of the audience. It made more sense for me to intro that piece instead of you, so you could then come out and do it on Thea, but have me actually present exactly what was going to happen at that point.
Because if I'd have came out with Paradox then gone into the patter, there's a chance that I'd have lost the audience, but you went into the part as I was starting the trick, basically pulling it out and then bang. Yeah. So yeah, that was a really good call. Also with like the being able to just like, also there was a slight little heckle off the kids because two sticks kept falling out when I was doing spike rap. But I just interacted with the kids and made out that they were helping me, and it just like turned around like, oh cheers, thanks. Yeah, so it's just being able to just not freeze up, and know your material as well. Know your material.
Knowing your material is very important. And I think that I use it. I give this advice so much on this channel. At this point, it's just ridiculous. But I'm going to say it again, which is have fun with it. I see so many people going through the motions as magicians.
Yeah.
You can just see that they're just going through the motions. They're doing the same material a million times over. I'm always pushing myself to put more material in my act. I'm always pushing myself to change that. I don't need to. I've got a warehouse full of shit down there. I could literally never learn another trick again. But I do that because I want to constantly be evolving. I'm constantly improving, and I don't want to rest on my laurels, and I don't want to be going through the motions. I think the biggest piece of advice I can give you is have fun with it. Remember, your hobby is your job. Your job is you get a chance to go out and entertain people and put a smile on their faces. And right now, more than ever before, I think that's probably the most important thing that anybody could do. So have fun with it, and don't rest on your laurels, and don't go through the motions.
Yeah, well, that even getting there early helps with that, because it means you don't have to go. You can, enjoy it. That's why I like to get there early, because it's like if you just run straight on, the temptation is to go through the motions and get over and done with because you're in a flap. You can just go go into showbiz mode, and then actually enjoy your jump.
Yeah, exactly. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I mean, in terms of the show, keep it snappy, keep it quick. Don't have moments where things are dipping. Light and shade is important, but in a holiday park, you want to keep the energy up the entire time. After you probably noticed in between the pieces, I was trying to transition from one to the other, and there's different ways you can transition, and I've spoken about transitions before. What you don't want to do is just go, hey, here's a trick, now here's another trick, now here's another trick, now here's another trick. Think about your transitions, and if I haven't got a transition and there's no clear way of transitioning from one to the other, I'll go, hey, do me a favor, let me know if you're having a good time. If you're having a good time, put your hand in the air. Adults at the back, if you're having a good time, put your hand in the air. You look very excited. I think it's going to be time that we're going to do something else now. Let's raise the level up a bit. Who wants me to go one step further? Right, we're going to go and boom, boom, boom. You kind of you're keeping that energy up, and as a performer, you will know whether the energy is dipping before the audience will. You will be able to spot that, and it's your job as a performer to be aware when that's happening, and you need to fix it. And if that means bringing your energy up, that's fine. If that means finishing that trick quicker so you can move on to something that's going to bring the energy up, that's absolutely fine. If that means going in a different direction and not doing the effect you were going to do because that's going to whatever. I think that's very important as well.
I think you've covered everything that I was thinking that people should know about it, because it was definitely a learning curve for me, and I was worried about the gig, mainly because the Ents team was worrying. Everybody was like, because I'd just seen so many people die on that stage, and I think if it was like, oh, we've got more magicians. That's what it felt like. Oh, not another illusion actor. It just felt like that, and I just thought, oh, okay. So then we just went, we're going to smash this. We're going to smash this, to the point where they want to book us again. Do you know what I mean? It was just how to get a holiday park and how to keep it. Do you know what I mean? And I think that is good. And it's like, I did say I was, it was bang, 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 but it was transitions. It was just that there wasn't any filler tricks. No. It's not time for your filler tricks. It's not time for you have a heart to heart with the audience. It's not time for process. Do you know what I mean? Simple, hard-hitting magic tricks that they've not seen before. And that doesn't mean buying expensive illusions or anything like that. It means doing something visual that people can just see. You know what I mean? Yeah. So...
and it's great. Holiday parks made me the performer that I am today. If it wasn't for doing the holiday parks, I don't think I consider myself to be a pretty strong performer. I know some people on the internet would disagree with that, but I consider myself to be a fairly strong performer. And with literally sitting in the office, that's part of the building that was built off the back of me performing. Let's not fucking forget that. For every single, for every single person, people that are sitting there going, well, Craig can't perform, how can he give advice? Well, here's the thing. We are literally sitting in a company that turns over millions of pounds, that was built and bought up, that gives 100 entertainers plus work every single week. Hundreds of entertainers, full-time entertainers, and I'm giving them all of their work, and it was built off me being a performer and sharing those performing skills with other entertainers in this company and teaching them how to go out and be successful. So for the people that are watching this going, and there's somebody that's going to comment, I know there's somebody that's going to comment, that's going to go, how can Craig give advice on performing? I can give advice on performing because I've been doing this for 30 years. I can give advice on performing because I have gone out to almost every single venue and I have absolutely killed it every single time. I can give this advice because I book in 15 to 18,000 events a year and give people that work with me full-time gigs based off me going out and learning how to be a great performer. I built the house that I am sitting in right now based off me being a performer. For anyone that wants to say I'm not a great performer, you are entitled to your opinion, but the facts say otherwise. So for everybody that always comments saying Craig's not a great performer, here's an idea. Take your opinion, write it on a piece of paper, then take that piece of paper, scrunch it up into a little ball, turn it sideways, shove it up your ass. Because I just don't need it. I really don't need it. I make these videos on this channel to try and help people and try and give people advice. And here's the thing. If you want to be a great performer, because when I started doing holiday parks, I had no clue what I was doing. I had absolutely no clue. I was okay at kids shows. I was okay at close-up, but I was a terrible stage performer. And I remember the first holiday park I went to. It was Treco Bay in Wales, in Cardiff, Porthcawl, just down the road from where Lloyd Barnes lives. I went there many, many years ago. I went on stage and I died on my arse, to the point that I was actually almost in tears in the room afterwards, and the Ents team had to come and cheer me up. And I came back in the van with Russell, my ex-business partner, and we just didn't talk. Me, Anna and Russell didn't talk because we thought, that's it, we've screwed up our one big chance. We spent ages trying to get that big break and we screwed it up. But you know what? We went out and we did it again and we did it slightly better, and we went out and did it again and we did it slightly better. Here's the thing. Holiday parks are going to make you an amazing performer. You want to be an incredible performer? That's how you do it, because it gives you flight time. It gives you a place where you can go out and perform and you can go and learn and you can make mistakes. And here's the thing, and this is the most important piece of advice I can give you. It's absolutely fine to fail. It's absolutely fine to make a mistake. It's absolutely fine to die on stage, as long as you fail forwards, as long as you learn from that experience and you reflect and you go, right, okay, I've died on my arse. I ended up handcuffed with my hands between my legs on stage with two women trying to grope me. I don't want that to happen again. How do I fix that? And I make sure it doesn't happen again. I've just pushed my assistant off a stage in a box and given a whiplash. I don't want that to happen again. I didn't let it happen again. Every mistake I've made, and trust me, I've made every single mistake. I've learned from that mistake and it has made me a better performer. You want to know how to be a better performer? You want to know how to actually kill at a holiday park? You want to know why he was crapping himself when he went to Butlins and I wasn't? It's because I've literally done it a million times. I've spent 30 years going out on stages literally all over the world, and I've been in every single situation. I'm not normally nervous these days because I've been there and I know what I need to do to make it successful. I'm not saying I'm the best entertainer, I'm the best magician in the world, I'm not. But through experience builds success. And the way to get more successful, the way to be more successful is to get more experience. The way to get more experience is by getting flight time. Ultimately, that's what it's all about. It's about going out there and going out and performing again and again and again. And that's the only way you can actually improve.
And debrief after. I think that's what we do in the van after.
Yeah, debrief. Yeah, talk about it.
You just go through every single bit of the show and just talk about the shit bits. And
talk about the good bits, because you don't want to just be a negative Nelly and just go, oh, that was crap, that was crap, that was crap. You know, you'll hear the first thing I'll say is, dear, you're amazing. That was great. How you dealt with that was absolutely brilliant. That was really good. You killed it in the bottles tonight. That was great. You talk about all the good stuff, but you also talk about all the bad stuff, and you talk about all the stuff that could be improved. Right, okay, what went badly?
The fear it's nothing. It's annoying. Fear, it's like you don't have to worry about it.
No, she just, yeah.
It's normally me. So Tom, don't do it like this. Don't do it like this. Tom, don't do it
Thea,
like this.
the one piece of advice I can give Thea is stop talking when she's packing away afterwards. Just go and silently pack that box away.
And when the
You
caretaker comes and goes, "Oh, you shouldn't be down here, love. You need to go back to the other kids."
And she just looks at him and goes, "I'm the performer, I'm the magician."
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think that really helps, because it's like there's things that I like. There's things that I worry about. I go, "Oh, that happened." You're like, and I feel like it's a problem. Sometimes it's not even a problem. It's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you end up dwelling on it.
Yep.
So it's good to talk about it, and you're like, wow, what happened? You know,
Yep.
nothing. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? And then there's things that I do wrong, which I don't notice. So it's always good to talk about it, because chances are the things that you did wrong on an issue and weren't even noticed, and the things that you thought went right could be done better.
Yep.
Like when I was doing Paradox, when we were running through Paradox a couple of times, you're like, it's not the time and the place to be talking. It's not shut your mouth, Tom. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. Just and all little things like that, which I feel like, yeah, but I'm not supposed to do it like that. Which, you know, and a lot of it is just as
Yeah, when you, I mean, that's a different thing. That's about
Yeah.
illusions. But a lot of the time, you shut up. You just shut up, and that's your problem. Your problem is you just try to
Waffle.
talk. You talk and you waffle. Just shut up. Shut up. Now is not the time to talk.
Yeah.
Just shut up. And also be aware of every single problem. So when you were doing Paradox, you slammed the top down too hard, and you caught the back door, and you'd never had that before,
No.
and I did, and you were just like. And I knew that's not going to open up, and Thea was there like, what the hell is going on? Which is why I immediately went over and I picked her up and I put her on the stage, because I knew that you weren't going to get that opened up until we got it back in the warehouse and we used the screwdriver.
And the audience didn't know.
The audience won't know, because, and Thea knew what was going on because she's been in that situation before, so she knew what to do. She knew that she was already looking over at me while you were trying to lift up the box. She was looking over at me going, okay, I know what I need to do now. Can we make it happen?
Yeah.
So, but that, again, that comes from experience. That comes from experience.
I won't make that mistake again.
Exactly, you failed forward, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, there you go. Hope this was valuable. Thank you, Tom, for asking me to do this video that I had no idea I was doing until I literally switched the camera on. That's how to boss a holiday park show. Any questions, let me know down below. You want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to join the Netrix, where there's a ton of advice on there about absolutely everything. It's the netrix.com. It's my online streaming platform for magicians. All the cool kids members, including him. And I'll see you again. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Craig, this is Tom, and you have been watching Magic TV.